So we're going to get back into the situation. Welcome back. My name is NoirLeblunt, and today we are here to talk about the update for Jonathan Majors. Hopefully you are up to speed, but if not, don't worry. We're going to go briefly over what happened originally, okay? If you're unfamiliar with Jonathan Majors, he has starred alongside Michael B. Jordan in Creed 3, and also one of the very popular films that seen myself, Ant-Man and Wasp. That's him playing Kane the Conqueror or whatever like that. So we're gonna go ahead and get straight into the first two statements that was released. That was released via Shade Room and TMZ. Now, just so we won't have to go back over this situation again, I will link the previous video at the top. But basically, what these two first statements said. There was an altercation between Jonathan Majors and a woman. At first, he was unidentified of strangulation and other different charges that came up. He was arrested on site, and they've come out with statements since then letting us know that it was his girlfriend that was accusing him of the assault and harassment and things of that nature. So again, I will release the video and link it up at the top for you to go back and catch that, since it's only like 3 or 4 minutes long. But let's go ahead and get into the recent statements that have been pushed out coming from the U.S. Army, of all the people. I never saw this one coming, but okay. It says the U.S. Army has decided to pull Jonathan Majors' Be All You Can Be ad campaign following his arrest. The Army had already released 2 ads with the actor before his arrest on Saturday. Okay, so it says the U.S. Army is aware of the arrest of Jonathan Majors, and we are deeply concerned by the allegations surrounding his arrest. The public affairs chief for the Army Enterprise Marketing Office said in a statement on Sunday, while Mr. Majors is innocent until proven guilty, prudence dictates that we all pull our ads until the investigation is into these allegations is complete. Pause. This is where I call out the military in general. If you are going to have this type of treatment towards actors or anybody that's working for you, make sure that you are inducing these same type of movements and the way that you're handling these things within your own service members. Because I know for a fact of abuse that goes on in the military, but I'm gonna keep it on the subject. But I'm just saying, do clean up your own house before you clean up everybody else's house. That's what I'm saying. Okay, so let's go ahead and continue. Because I'm not gonna stay on that for too long. They said this news comes shortly after Jonathan's criminal defense lawyer released a statement maintaining his innocence. Jonathan Majors is completely innocent and is probably the victim of an altercation with a woman he knows. That's come via his lawyer. He said, we are quickly gathering, presenting evidence to the district attorney with the expectation that all charges will be dropped imminently. According to his lawyer, video evidence of the incident and testimony from witnesses were proved that the actor's innocence, and to the woman also took back her accusation of the assault in a written statement. So she recanted her story. This is what we are finding out right now. But that's not to say that it did or did not happen, because I've heard of victims recanting stories before just to spare their partners or anything like that. So I'm staying directly in the middle. I'm trying not to make any type of judgment until all facts come out. That's the proper thing to do in these situations, because what I don't want to do is stamp a big scarlet letter on somebody's back. That's something that nobody could ever outlive, and I don't want that to be his situation, just like I don't want her to be a victim of any type of violence, okay? But let me go straight to the comments really quick, just so we can get into some of these things actually, did I cover everything on that? Hold on. Oh, no, actually, let me finish this. It says that the NYPD is required to make an arrest in the situations, and that this is the only reason Mr. Majors was arrested. We expect charges to be dropped soon. Okay, so I didn't want to repeat what I had said earlier from the lawyer, and that comes via the neighborhood talk. So I want to know down in the comments, what did you guys think that, of course, they want to arrest whoever is seen as the aggressor, I guess. They want to make sure that they arrest the right person, so that way you can't get away, you can't escape, and then that way they have the person already in custody, if that is the case. All right, so the last one that we're going to read here, and also I wanted to bring this up because I saw this right before I came on my live earlier, but I'm re-recording this video. It said officials say that Majors, 33, was involved in a domestic dispute with a 30-year-old woman in New York City. The woman told police she was assaulted and Majors was taken into custody. Police says sources say that Major called 911 himself to report his concern about his girlfriend with whom he lives. So what we are finding out now, Jonathan called, look, Jonathan like I know him. Jonathan called the police himself to report this situation. So it's kind of leading me to believe that I don't think an abuser would call the police. I don't know. I've never been in a situation like this, but I don't think an abuser would call the police to be able to, I don't know, try to escalate a situation into something like this. From what they're saying is he was trying to get her help because what I'm hearing and what I'm reading is that she was going through some type of emotional psychosis. She was breaking down and it went through this. I don't know if maybe he was trying to restrain her or where all these bruises and anything's come from, because of course they have not released photos from that, which they would not because she's the victim in this situation. So we're trying to figure out how all this came about. But let's go straight into the comments because I find this very interesting. I say this because when you put this scarlet letter out there, when you put this information out there without properly giving us all the evidence, that stamps abuser on somebody's back. So I'm gonna prove this by going to the comments. The first comment said it doesn't matter. Even if he didn't do anything, the world says he did. And this is a fact. No matter how hard he would work, just like a Chris Brown and Rihanna situation, it would always be that on his back, all right? Next comment said, my sister recanted to the police when her ex-boyfriend went upside her head too. Mind you, I was there when he did it. Again, your sister's situation is different from this as far as we know, because we generally do not know what happened in that car. Like they said, there's video and there's witnesses. Especially the video is going to be super important in a situation like this. It's very important that we not draw conclusions when it comes to something like this, okay? So next up, they say abused women recant statements all the time. It doesn't mean that it didn't happen. Y'all need to go to Twitter. They spilling all his abusive history. This ain't the first woman he put his hands on. That was very concerning to me to read something like that, because I would hate for that to be the case of his past coming back to haunt him. But let's go straight to the next one from what I found on Twitter once I saw this comment. Next up, it says the Broadway director Tim Nicoli collaborates alleged reports of Jonathan Majors' abuse claims. Quote, he's a sociopath and an abuser, and that's how virtually everyone speaks about him. It's a shame that it took this long for him to be reported. Now, when I saw this, I was like, man, I really hope that this isn't true, because if this is the case, how crazy is it that we all been tricked into thinking that Jonathan Majors isn't, he's this clean-cut guy. That would be like us finding out Michael B. Jordan was something like this. You know what I'm saying? Like in our eyes, because we don't want to see stars like this fall from grace, not especially for something like this. But let's go back to the comments really quick, because I want to finish this out from what I found on Twitter. Let me go into what came up next after that. That was basically the same thing. There we go. All right. Let me take these two off. My bad. They said, I'm already seeing a bunch of why didn't you do anything, folks. People have tried. Ultimately needed a victim to try to come forward. It's both simultaneously awful to know that he is still doing this, and also a relief that he may never do it again. Get to again. Pause. If you're not the person that has actually been abused, then you need to allow them people to tell their story. That's my view on that, because see, anybody can jump online and say this, and from what they told me in the comments, it was two guys that came out and said things like this. Now, granted, I'm not saying that don't speak up for your friends. However, you speaking up and your friends not saying anything within their own case is doing nothing. It is doing nothing, because if you're not the person that's able to go and file a police report or do anything to help this, then you are not helping this at all. It almost looks like a smear campaign. I'm not saying that's what it is, but if you do not have proof to back that up, then what are you saying, really? But let's continue reading. It says, a bunch of us are close with the people, and sometimes multiple people that he has directly harmed. I don't know if they will speak on it, and it's completely their decision. You're right. It's their decision in their store, which means you should shut the fuck up. That's the way I feel about it. Because why are you on here putting out this information that you have nothing to back that up with? That's my thing. But let's continue. They said probably going to delete this when it turns into an act of harassment, which is inevitable on here. It won't matter. I'm sure other folks are already verifying. Well, where are those people at? Because I have yet to hear that yet. Where are the actual people that are victims? And I'm not victim shaming. I'm saying I really want justice. If these people are victims, let's stop protecting abusers if that is the case here. Okay, so allegedly on that. If that is the case, then let's start supporting that with actual factual evidence. That's the way I always look at these things. Before we go accusing and putting scarlet letters on people's back, it is not fair, because how do they fight back against something like that has not been proven? That's why, like the whole believe in all victims and things like that, I need y'all to come with proof. I'm just saying, I'm not trying to victim shame anybody. But I feel like when you are a victim, you need proof of of your victimhood. That's just the way I look at it. But let's go back to these last comments, okay? Oh, was that the last one? Yeah, that was the last one. My bad. I thought it was more than that, but it wasn't. So here's the thing. So far, all we have is the lawyer coming out, giving us saying that he's completely innocent. There's video footage and there's witnesses. We need to see that if this is going to be played out in the court of public opinion, you got to present everything. But I understand they have to hold on to certain things until it goes to court. But here's the tricky part in that. Let's say it goes to court and it gets dismissed. Or let's just say it doesn't even go to court and no charges are brought up because the DA may see it and be like, no, I'm not going to charge him with anything. He's innocent. This is still going to be a stain on his record. What do you guys think down in the comments, and how do you feel about this? Because I feel there's no easy solution out of this when you're accused of something deep like this. So I hope that we get a chance to, I guess, see maybe the video and understand, maybe did she have an emotional break, or was she going through some type of psychosis? That way we can better understand it, and that would further clear Jonathan Majors. If we see in a video from when she breaks and maybe she starts going crazy and he's maybe restraining her and that's how she got the bruises, or will we see him attacking her in the video? I do not know. But I feel like that video should be released to the public just that way, so Jonathan Majors is cleared completely. And then that's where we can go back to the comments on Twitter saying, okay, now where are your friends that said this and that other? Let's clear him all the way, or let's get him charged all the way, depending on what the situation may be. I would like to know you guys' thoughts and opinions down in the comments. Thank you for joining in for another update. And as they come along, I will make sure I drop another video to keep you up to date with it, all right? Until next time, guys, take care.